Hello everyone and welcome back to another build guide video. I am Hazefest. Got a lot of experience in this game, so I figured I'd share some of it with you. I was chatting with someone online and they had brought up the question of support classes and are they any good. This will be a build guide on the Strategist. It is a ranger class and it is very powerful in the early and mid game. It kind of falls off in the late game because other builds just rise to power so hard. So in the early game, this class will give you more attacks of opportunity. It'll help you disengage. It'll help you get kills. It'll help you do all kinds of interesting things that other classes just can't do. And it will also make the other classes that are your DPS classes or your tank classes a little bit more powerful. Let's take a look at the Strategist. First thing I'll mention here is profession. All right, the profession for this unit can really be anything that you need in your repertoire. Cooks are fine, brewers are fine, bard, scholar. This support class can be one of those professions that you just don't know where to fit them. This is a great class to just dump something onto. I made him a cook so he would survive in the early game, and I made him a strategist because I already had a cutthroat, and this guy pops off. Like, it was great. So I'll break it down and tell you what I recommend for what levels. I'll show you the gear that I have on him. I'll talk about his attributes. I'll let you know pretty much everything I can think of about this build. Let's look at the gear for the Strategist. Early on, you can use any dagger that you want, but you want to look for daggers that have more of a support role than a DPS role. A great example of this is the Tactician's Dagger. If you just have the base game, you'll be able to find this throughout the different factions that you're fighting. Tactician's Dagger says attack order. It deals a moderate amount of damage to the enemy. And ambush. If the target is engaged with a combat an ally, the ally executes an attack of opportunity. An ambush is when you attack the enemy from behind. Okay, you can't hit them from the side. You literally have to hit them in the back. So pay attention to the arrow modifier on the engaged target. Make sure you're hitting them directly in the back, and then your ally will get an attack of opportunity. For oils, I recommend Brave, or every time you use a Valor ability, you have a 50% chance to gain a Valor point. So if you end up putting Orderly on this unit, it will generate 2 Valor points every time. The other oil for this weapon I have is Exhausting, which says whenever I attack an enemy, I have a 50% chance to apply Dazed, and Dazed means that enemy, its next attack of opportunity deals no damage. So you can use Dazed to disengage from units that are problematic or tanky or are about to kill a unit. So it's a way to give protection to another ally, or if you're engaged with somebody, you can daze them and then just walk away. The second weapon that I have on this unit is the Skelmar Knife. This is from the Skelmar DLC. This knife is kind of unique. It has a ruthless training skill, which says it damages an ally for 10% of their maximum health and gives them 4 rage. If engaged with an enemy, this ally also executes an attack of opportunity, for which the damage is increased by 25%. If the engaged ally is an animal, the damage is increased by 100% instead. Pretty weird ability. So instead of attacking an enemy with this knife, you'll attack an ally. And if that ally has an enemy engaged with it, it'll attack of opportunity them and give them 20% increased damage and 25% increased damage for the opportunity attack. The offhand weapon is a legendary throwing weapon. This is called Solar. You get this from the Drawback region. It's from the Tracker's Camp in Drawback. After you save the woman in Ludern, you go to Drawback, talk to the Tracker's Camp. There'll be someone there with a weapon. It is Solar. This gives you 5% critical hit chance and 5% critical damage, and has Courageous Axe Throw every time you use a Valor-based skill. This unit will throw a axe at a nearby enemy that's the furthest away, and it always lands a critical hit against Ghost Pack. For the armor, I recommend any light armor with extra stats. This one has precision on it. That's not a good stat. Typically, you want to have a light armor with additional crit hit chance, such as the Looter's Jacket here. I didn't have a 3-star version of this, but the Looter's Jacket gives 5% critical hit chance. I'd recommend the Looter's Jacket over what I had, but since I had a matching set of the helmet and chest piece, I went with this for the optimized armor for the 10% increased stats. So in a perfect world, I would use the Looter's Jacket with a Looter's Helmet for the best outcome. On this unit, for the armor layers, I recommend the Colossal Reinforced Layer of the Ermine, which is a Dexterity +4 and Movement +1 layer. So altogether, we're getting +12 Dex, +3 Movement, and that's pretty solid. The belt item I recommend is the Brave Oil Concentrate, because our Skelmar knife also has Brave Oil. So no matter what weapon we are using, we are giving them a 100% chance to create a Valor point every time we use one of our skills. And the Skelmar knife that I have here is also using Propulsion Oil, which says there's a 50% chance whenever you knock a unit back to apply destabilization for 1 round. And the reason that we have Propulsion Oil is because Smokescreen knocks enemies back. So if you have a large group of tanks, or if you have a bunch of people that are engaged, you can throw Smokescreen and trigger attacks of opportunities for all your allies, and then knock the enemies back, taking away their guard. Let's take a look at the skills. At level 2, I'd recommend either Valorous Audacity or Valorous Support, whichever you personally believe that you can trigger more often safely. If you feel like you don't have enough melee units to tie up the enemies, do not go Valorous Audacity. Because even though the enemies aren't engaged, you can still run over and park next to an enemy that has no one around it. But if you hit that enemy, you'll engage them. So just run over, stand next to them, and in the turn, you'll get a Valor point. Or if you want to be safer, you can do Valor Support, which is totally fine. You can always respec later if you need to. Valorous Victory is not good on this class because this class is not going to be doing all the killing. You're going to enhance other allies to do the killing, not yourself. Strategist. This is the class that we are. It's a light armor class with Smokescreen. For 1 Valor point, it forces the enemies engaged in the area to disengage. They incur an attack of opportunity from their opponent. If you level up this ability with a skill book, enemies that are not engaged in combat are knocked back by 2 meters. So it's a great way to like push people away from people who are surrounded. It's a great way to put destabilization on people with the oil. At level 5, pretty much every class that you go on the Ranger is going to want Instinctive Throw. Instinctive Throw is insanely strong. This passive ability, every time you use a skill, whether it's attack, run, first aid, tactical order, whatever skill you push on your bar, any action you take will throw a dagger at an enemy within 4 meters, and it'll reset your movement if you've upgraded the skill. So you'll just get the throw at an enemy nearby. If you upgrade the skill, it'll reset your movement. So you can run, perform an action, get a kill, offer support, throw a dagger, and then you'll be able to move your full movement again. It's a great way to traverse the battlefield. On some classes, you can just chain kills all the way across the map, and it is fantastic. So I highly recommend Instinctive Throw. At level 8, we can get Low Blow, which for 1 Valor point applies Blackout to all enemies in the area. If you've fought the Legion, you know that Low Blow is incredibly annoying. Because the Legion, they automatically as a passive have a chance to apply Blackout to engaged enemies. And Blackout says your target has a 50% chance to miss their next attack. So you throw this on a large group of enemies, and they are pretty much useless for the next round. The Low Blow is a point-blank area of effect on your unit, so you'll run in, you'll hit Low Blow, you'll throw a dagger to reset your movement, and then run out. At level 10, it's really up to you. If you don't have a good second weapon for supporting your unit, I would recommend taking this later with a respec. You could try doing Anticipation if you feel like you want this unit to do more damage, because if someone attacks them, they have a chance to not become disengaged and instead deal an attack of opportunity. Or if you feel like you want your support unit to traverse the battlefield without having to worry about collision, you could do Unstoppable. All 3 of these are good for this class. I'm actually trying out second weapon to see how much I like it. Class Specialization will be your number 12 ability. The Bravery for this class says this unit disengages and can act once more after all the allies have gone, or after everybody has gone. So this is like a final thing before the round ends. So you get like 2 moves. That could be cool, but unfortunately I feel like you're going to want to use other braveries. So this one kind of falls to the back burner. I don't recommend using this. You can if you want to, but I would highly recommend Class Specialization. And since we're going for the role of support, Deadly Contract, which will automatically put a debuff on enemies near the starting location of this unit. And when those units die, that debuff transfers to the next enemy. So it's like a permanent debuff for the enemy team until they're all dead. I kind of like this as a support unit. You're just passively there, even if you're not actually engaging in the battle. You're still contributing by increasing damage for others. For attributes on this class, so I recommend about 22 movement, 15 willpower, 50-ish, 45 to 55% critical hit, and the rest in dexterity. That's pretty much the breakdown of the whole unit. Let's take a look at the unit in action. We've got a few units over here that are engaged. Got 1, 2, 3 engaged units. 4th if you count Poppy. So now's a good time to try using this unit. You can see that we have to go run all the way around to get up here. So let's head that way. Alright, we got some enemies engaged with our people. Let's come up here. Let's attack our ally in the back, giving him an attack of opportunity. Nice. We throw a dagger. Great. We're going to smoke screen, knocking some enemies back. As well as getting attacks of opportunity for our group. Nice. Gets 2 kills there. We throw a dagger. We throw an axe. We can come over here. We can low blow, blinding all these enemies. We can swap weapons. It shows that we can attack still, so let's come over here. Let's hit this guy in the back, getting an attack of opportunity. Fantastic. So it looks like this class can use both weapon attacks in a single turn, similar to the crossbowman. I like that. We still can run around and taunt if we want, and we can also run. None of these enemies are close enough to kill. So I think at this point we have done what we can. We still have a lot of movement to get back to safety if we want. So I think I'll just go ahead and do that. I think I'll get out of here so that allies can get in and do some damage. We will pass. We have lots of engaged allies over here. We got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 allies over here that are engaged. Let's get in here and see what we can do with this unit. Come on up here. We can hit these guys with this here. 1, 2, 3, 4 kills off one ability. Knocks the other guys back. We throw a dagger. Getting an attack, we throw an axe. Getting our movement reset, so now we can move anywhere else we want. So we could stay here and attack this guy, but I can't get to his back. I can get to the back over here of one of these units. Let's come over here. You see the movement on this character is insane. We'll hit this guy in the back. Gives our buddy an attack of opportunity. We throw a dagger. We swap weapons. We still have ruthless training available. Let's move back to our wolf over here. Hit this unit. Attack of opportunity. 100% increased damage. We get the kill. Fantastic. Now we can move over here in the middle of all these enemies. Blind them. Throwing a dagger. Getting a valor point. Throwing an axe. The throws don't do much damage, but every little bit helps. We could move out here. We could also run through the other side over here. Throw a dagger. Throw an axe. We could come over here and taunt off of our rat. Go ahead and do that. Throw a dagger. Throw an axe. And we will pass. We get an attack of opportunity. He attacks our ally. Alright, we got a bunch of people engaged over here. Let's see what we can do with our strategist. Come on in. We're going to throw a smoke bomb here. 2, 3, 4 attacks of opportunity. Throw a dagger. Throw an axe. We can kill this unit. We'll do that. Throw a dagger. Killed another unit. Come over here. We'll stab our friend in the back. Attack of opportunity. Throw a dagger. Okay. Swap weapons. No allies are engaged except for this guy. Over here. Stab this dude in the back. Throw a dagger. Still a lot of enemies over here. Let's move over. Let's blind everybody. Throw a dagger. Throw an axe. We're pretty much good at this point. I'm just gonna back out, I think. No, maybe not. Maybe I can go here. Off this unit. Throw a dagger. Throw an axe. Get a valor point. And this unit's already gone, so there's no threat of him attacking me. Pass. Alright, let's go in with Hackert. We got a bunch of enemies engaged in here. Let's see what I can do. We move in. We will... over here. We'll hit this guy in the back. Getting an attack of opportunity from our rat. Plague infection. We kill this unit here. Swap weapons. Go over here. Stab Ludic in the back. Getting an attack of opportunity. Throw a dagger. Let's go for the 4. Lots of damage. We throw a dagger. We throw an axe. Not enough to kill anyone. Go over here. Kill. Throw a dagger. Throw an axe. Come here. Move over here. We'll blind all these enemies in the back. Throw a dagger. Throw an axe. Then we're gonna run. Throwing a dagger, killing this unit. We're gonna come over here and taunt this guy. Throwing a dagger. Getting a kill. Great. That's pretty much all we can do. Let's go ahead and back out. Get to a safe place. Thank you guys for joining me for another build guide video on Wartales, the Strategist. It is a great class. It does unique things. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate those who do. And I'll see you next time in Wartales.